Golf Sierra November 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on 121.7. How do you read?
Victor Tango Golf Sierra November Mumbai ground. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5. Strength 5. Victor Tango Golf Sierra November.
Mumbai ground. Victor Tango November Echo Alpha on 121.9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango November Echo Alpha Mumbai ground. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5. Strength 5. Victor Tango November Echo Alpha.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Sierra Echo Hotel on 121.9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango Sierra Echo Hotel Mumbai ground. Read you 5. Primary 747576. Secondary 878486.
Read you 5. Primary 747576. Secondary 878486. Victor Tango Sierra Echo Hotel.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango, Zulu November Victor. How do you read?
Victor Tango Zulu November Victor Mumbai ground. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5, strength 5, Victor Tango, Zulu November Victor.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango, Juliet Yankee, Oscar on 121.9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango Juliet Yankee Oscar Mumbai ground. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5. Strength 5. Victor Tango, Juliet Yankee, Oscar.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Romeo Juliet Papa on 122.5. Readability check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Romeo, Juliet, Papa, Mumbai ground. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5, strength 5, Victor, Tango, Romeo, Juliet, Papa.
Okay, students, very good morning. Good readability checks, and very good that you all remember what you're supposed to do when you join. I'm very happy to see your calls are very nice. They're very smooth and very sweet. I think they're majorly on the slower side. I would expect you all to be a little faster, slightly little faster. Okay. But when you're practicing, if you're going with the slower side, I think it's a very good thoughtful situation. But when you compare a normal call like a readability check and another situation based call, then you might somewhere feel that the rate of speech is very slow for yourself also. So we're going to work on the same today, but a few students have not yet joined us. So I'm not sure if they're joining in. Students, if you have any questions to discuss, please let me know. We'll give you more 5 minutes, and 10:15 we'll start with the lecture. Today we are going to focus on how to make a call based upon any situation given to you. So of course, when you talk about different situations, like maybe an urgency situation, maybe a mayday situation, you come across certain parameters that you have studied, or maybe you'll be studying. But over and above that, what does it take to make a fresh call or a live call? How do you read a sentence, read a question, and how do you convert it into that examination transmission? How would you transmit the same situation in the examination? Exactly how you would do in an actual aviation radio telephone environment. So there's certain skills attached to it. Okay. Either you can verbatim memorize the calls and wait for such similar questions to come so that you can do it out of memory, or you can organically understand the situation and understand what are the fundamentals that are required to give you that particular call. Okay. So see if you have any questions, students who can keep their videos on, please do so. And a very warm welcome to everyone. Very good morning. And it's a Monday, and very nice to see you, Neha. Very good morning. And we have Neha joining in, and Sehab is joining in after a long time. Welcome, Sehab. Welcome, Neha. Nukul, welcome. Nice to see you again. We have Zanvi, Ishan, Sonia Yadav, Gulshan, Manan, Suchita, Ashwani, Pooja, Usaid, and Ayush, right? Students, I hope everyone can hear me on a scale of 5. Quickly go through
Hello,
your
sir. It's good
notes.
to be back.
Yes, very nice, Sehab. Very nice to see you're still focused, studying, preparing. That's what I like in students. Students, please go through your notes. Pooja, see if you have any doubts. Manan, see if you have any doubts. Manan, I haven't seen much of your calls in a long time. So Manan, I would encourage if you practice and ask more and more questions in the live sessions. Neha, ask as many questions as you can in the live sessions. Then Sehab, I'll give you a chance to discuss your questions. Sehab, you make sure your questions are written down in one place so that when I ask, you can just send it over either on Zoom chat or either on WhatsApp. And others, feel free to discuss your questions. Many of your WhatsApp questions might not have been answered so far, so you can just collect them and make sure you show them to me again so that whichever needs to be clarified right now, the doubts, we can do so right now. Any questions, anyone? Think about it. So I want someone to give me the list of categories of messages. Neha, I'm not sure if you've gone through the session of categories of messages, so just keep a
Negative.
lookout. Keep a lookout and make the list of the same. Ayush, Nukul, can you give me categories of messages? Revise, I want a perfect answer. Hemant has joined us. Hemant, warm welcome. Very good morning.
Morning, sir.
Usaid, categories of messages. Ishan, Zanvi, you must be remembering it. Suchita, do you remember it? Just I hope you're keeping well. Just I hope you remember what is categories of messages. So who's going first? Jyotsna, ready? Okay. What are the category of messages? Just a second. Now just reiterate what is the meaning of categories of messages. In a radio telephony environment, in a busy environment where one air traffic controller is handling a lot of stations, which messages will get first priority? What kind of messages will get first priority? That is the meaning of categories of messages. All right. Now, these categories of messages are not a big deal, but they can sometimes be asked to you in your part 2 Viva also. Plus, it becomes a very, very easy or a very common general answer question. If you don't know about this, but you know a lot about RT, still somewhere some people might judge you adversely, thinking you're not well prepared. So what are we doing today? We are doing RTR, of course, and these series of lectures, today is lecture 3, and if we have to track these lectures, we'll be following or we'll be tracking the playlist name H22 or Hotel 22. Just for the sake of managing the whole sequence of lectures again and again. Okay. So categories of messages. Jyotna, go ahead. I write it on the screen for everyone to cross-check and verify. Jyotna, go ahead. I think she has a disconnection. She'll be back. Sana, welcome to the class. Hemant and Sana, please do a readability check. How do you read?
Read you 5. How do you read Victor Tango Mike Echo Delta?
Read you 5, Mumbai ground.
Mumbai ground. Victor Tango Hotel Echo Mike. On 121 decimal liner. Readability check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango Hotel Echo Mike. Mumbai ground, read you 5. Okay, Jyotsna, go ahead. Please give me the answer, categories of messages, quick. Victor Tango, Juliet Yankee Oscar. Yes, go ahead.
So there are 3 types of category of messages. First is the flight safety messages. Second is meteorological messages. And third is flight regulatory messages. In that, first, the priority is given to distress messages, which has code Mayday. Second priority is given to urgency messages, that has code pen pen. Pen 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 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Third, yes, sir. So that's all right.
Okay, actually, when we talk about category of messages, you are right about it, Jyotsna, but when we categorize, we will put it into 6 categories, not 3. Okay, everyone, a quick revision for everyone. And what are the 6 categories? Of course, the first one is distress. Second one is urgency. And in the second one, when we have urgency, in that you will see that you have urgency medical, and then you will have security, security, security. That is related to natural calamities. These are the top 4, I could say, or top 3 priority of messages. What does it mean? It means that if we are speaking to one particular air traffic controller, in that area, in that case, in that area, all the aircrafts connected, the one aircraft that will have distress as a situation or an emergency going on, then all the calls related to that aircraft will get first priority. That is it. These are categories of messages, also termed as priority of messages. So what is urgency medical? We start with pan, and then we say medical. If anyone on board has a medical emergency, we can associate pan medical as the code. Otherwise, pan said 3 times is a code used to determine situations that are underlined by the definition of urgency. So urgency has a definition, distress also has a definition, but the code are very unique and very simple to understand. And these codes mean everything in your civil aviation environment. Any aircraft transmitting Mayday, it's not a good day for anyone associated in the civil aviation environment. Any aircraft transmitting pan, still it's not a good day. But we are hoping that the emergency gets resolved and everything comes back to normal. So pan is not as deadly as Mayday, but situations in pan could get deadlier and turn into Mayday if we are not timely looking into it. So it becomes very easy towards the end of your training to determine what kind of call would you take so that you get that kind of attention from the air traffic controller. Nukul, are you understanding what's happening? Can you give me a brief of the whole answer again, categories of messages in a proper sequence, supplementing with what Jyotsna said and supplementing to what I'm saying?
So category messages are 3 type of messages. The first one is distress message, which is we have given a first priority, and a code for the distress is Mayday Mayday. And in second, we have urgency. So urgency messages, we have given a second priority, and for the code is pan. And in under urgency, we have urgency medical and security for natural calamities. And third, we have flight safety, regarding flight safety. And fifth, we have a meteorological messages. And sixth, we have regulatory messages.
Okay, I'm missing one number in your answer, but your answer is good, not bad. Jyotsna, your answer is also good, but just to understand, when we talk about flight safety messages, before the flight safety messages, we have to categorize distress, urgency, and urgency medical and security. Okay, I'll just show you all the list that I had made. I think it was the first session where we had done priority of messages or categories of messages. Students, get through your notes. Everyone who's not made it, quickly make it, and let's move ahead. It really helps you. It really helps you, be thorough with what you have learned so far. If you're doing a timely, what do we say? If you're doing a timely revision of all that you have learned, students. See, so this is the table. Yes, please go ahead.
So fourth one, I think communication related direction finding.
Exactly. Something is missing. Jyotsna and Nukul, something is missing. Take your time and correct the table, everyone. So this is the category of messages based table. The first is distress message, and the code is Mayday said twice. Second is urgency messages. Code is pan said thrice. Okay. 2.1. Below urgency, under urgency comes urgency medical. Code is pan said thrice, then medical. 2.2. Natural calamities. Code is security said thrice. So these are the top 3 under top 2. It is like that, or maybe top 4 under top 2. That's how it is. Then number 3 is communications related to direction finding. Students, this is something that we don't really practice much in our RT calls. But what does this mean? If a pilot is unable to determine their own position, and if they are in air, and if they're not sure which direction to fly to reach the destination, or maybe a safe aerodrome, then chances are by the time they make a decision, they will run short of fuel. If they run short of fuel, the airplane will be forced to make a forced landing anywhere available, which might not be a safe place for the aircraft to land. Direction finding becomes very important. The good thing is that these days modern aircrafts, they're equipped with so many of navigation instruments and nav aids that you always have a fallback plan to fall back upon. What do you mean by fallback plan? If one system doesn't work or breaks, you have another system to fall back upon so that you can continue doing what you're supposed to do. As a pilot, flying an airplane and finding a direction, they both are equally important. If you know how to fly a plane, but if you don't know how to find your directions, then you're not a good pilot. And it's as good as better if you don't fly the plane. It's like that. So you have to do both things together. You need to control the plane also, and you need to be aware about the direction finding also. In RT, a little bit of direction finding sense, in RT examinations, a little bit of direction finding sense will really be helpful to you all. Okay, so today I'm going to put a little bit of thought into that also when I'm teaching you how to come up directly with a live call, considering any situation given to you. So for that, you'll have to imagine yourself to be in the air, especially if you have never been inside a cockpit when it's flying, when the airplane is flying, and when you have not really seen any of the real charts, or when you have not really seen any of the real instruments or whatever it is, the real view of the earth from the sky also, when you're flying, as a pilot, it can become a little difficult for you to make a few calls fluently initially. But if you put yourself into that spot and try and do as I say, it'll be easy for you to make these calls. So communications related to direction finding, I'm going to give you a couple of cue codes related to direction finding, students. These are important, and these can be used in your RT calls and have to be used in your RT calls when you require a specific direction from an air traffic controller to reach a station. Okay. Mukul, welcome to the class. How do you read?
Radio 5. How do you read, sir?
Radio 5. So quickly, I'll give you cue codes. There is a very important cue code called QDM. Okay, it is called magnetic direction or track to the station. Now, the whole navigation aspect of your RT, of your CPL is or can be quantified between two elements, to and from. There's nothing more to it. Okay, so we're going to look at it in brief. Second thing we're going to see is QDR. What is QDR? QDR is magnetic direction or track from the station. To and from. These two are the most important directions for a pilot. It could be asked by the ATC. You can ask it, you can take it from the ATC, or you can already plan it before your operations begin, before your takeoff or your departure begin. So magnetic direction to the station, magnetic direction from the station. I'll give you an example for the same. First point, you need to know that all radio navigation system based ground equipments, highlight ground equipments. All radio nav system based ground equipments are aligned with magnetic north. This is a very important point, students, that I think every student aviator or student pilot should be aware of. It's a very simply put it's a very simply put point, but it's a very important point. Although it's important, it's also very basic, you know. The issue is, let me finish this and, for example, consider following points. So all radio nav, when I say nav, it's a full form for navigation. All radio navigation system based ground equipments are aligned with magnetic north. Okay. For example, I'll just show you a small diagram for the same before I show you point number 2. See, NDB is a ground station associated with ADF. Okay, so automatic direction finder was one of the first automatic radio-based direction finding instruments that people or pilots were using in the cockpit. Okay, so along with ADF, the ground station is NDB. And the symbol for NDB is this, a small dot, a small circle, not a dot. And the station is somewhat almost coded in 2 letters for an NDB station. And this NDB works under a frequency range, which you'll be learning. One second, okay. And these equipments, ADF and the associated NDB, these equipments, they work in the LF and the MF frequency bands. So see, these little keywords, now I am trying to hit multiple birds from the same stone in way of speaking things. Okay. What do I mean by that? I'm not only teaching you, I'm not only helping you revise the category of messages, but we are focusing on the importance of direction finding. And we have come across 2 Q codes that give us magnetic directions to reach a station or to fly away from a station. So these are the 2 Q codes. Q codes have to be read out as QDM or QDR. You don't have to say Quebec Delta Mike or Quebec Delta Romeo. Okay. Now I'm giving you an example. What are the examples? Before the examples, consider the following points. These all are thumb rules for you. You cannot afford to not remember any of these points that I'm sharing with you, students. Everything is important, okay? For example, if talking about NDB and ADF, then NDB is the ground station associated with ADF. The symbol is this, symbol plus code, okay? And the frequency band is LF-MF. What I'm trying to show is, in your Part 2 Viva, they can ask you questions based upon anything related to RT. It could be basic simple points about automatic direction finder or any other radio navigation system. So this is the way you talk about them. It's very simple. Even if for ADF, if you don't study anything else, but you study these 4 points that I'm giving you, And if your ability to answer in your part 2 is similar to the way I'm explaining it to you, then you're good to go for part 2 as well. For the same concept, you don't have to learn ADF again and again in depth if you really want to outshine in your part 2 vivas. Your part 2 vivas in your RT exams are that way. The way you give answers and the points that you say. But it's okay. You can determine your own way to give answers. You can just give out the whole point or the page that I'm going to give you to read verbatim and then give answers. But this way is also fine. What I'm going to show you is that, let's say that, let's say that I have multiple locations. Okay. I have multiple locations. Okay. So maybe I, as a aviator, I'm connected here, then I'm connected here, then I'm connected here. I'm connected to these different regions, okay? Let's say this is region 1, region 2, and region 3, and region 4. Then probably region 1 is connected to region 1 like this, region 2 like this, region 3 like this. And then maybe region 2 will be connected like this, like this, like this. And of course, region 4 will also be connected to all other airports like this. So basically, every region has a one airport over here is the assumption in the diagram. And everyone is connected with each other through a set of routes. So these things, these lines that I'm connecting become your routes. Okay. But other than the routes, what is most important is this point, or maybe this point of the aerodrome, this point, and maybe this point of the aerodrome. This is where I have to land my airplane. And this is where I'll have a runway strip where I have to align with the runway and land my airplane. So that becomes very important for me that I reach that particular point. How do I reach that particular point? So these places where you have aerodromes can also be called as terminals. Okay. That's why all airports are called as terminals. Terminals mean that you're going to end your flight here. That is the meaning of terminal. Something or somewhere where you end your journey or you end your transportation. And of course, from there also you can resume your transport. That is the meaning of terminal. Now, when you talk about aviation communications, okay, communications, or you talk about VHF comms. Now, this is a very interesting part 2 question, okay? Whenever I'm saying part 1, part 2, you just scribble in your notes, this is important for part 2, this is important for part 2, this is important for part 2. So when you're revising, in part 1, what are the other important questions for part 2? So there is one important question being asked these days in your part 2 vivas, and that is about what are the different types of VHF communications. Okay. There are multiple answers to this question. One of the answers is there are 2 types. One is en route VHF communication, and second is terminal VHF communication. So what do you mean by terminal? Terminal VHF communication mean communication related to landing and departing from the aerodrome. So there you get what you get. You get your CTR, the first zone, and the second you get is your CTA. Generally, the first 2 circles. CTR stands for control zone, and CTA stands for control area. Now, control zone is an area that starts from ground level and goes to any upper limit, like this. CTR. CTR will always start from ground surface to any upper limit. It could be flight level 50, flight level 70, flight level 80, 980, 100, or maybe maximum flight level. Whereas when you have CTA, CTA starts from any upper specified limit in air or any lower specified limit in air to any upper specified limit like this. So this will become CTR, that is control zone, and this will become CTA, that is control area. Generally, these 2 zones will help you with your terminal communication. And then following this, there will be a larger range over here given to me, which will be my ACC, that is Area Control Center, generally also referred to as TMA. Okay, TMA and ACC will mean the same thing, although definitions are different. Your call sign is control in this case. Area name and control. Let's say if this region 1 is Delhi, then it will become Delhi control, the larger area. The CTA area will become the smaller one, which will generally be approach. And CTR generally is always tower for you. So the CTR, CTA are codes given to the range of area that has to be controlled by a particular air traffic controller. Just like a chief minister of a state, is going to control all the areas that are within the state boundaries, these air traffic controllers on VHF have to take care of all the aircrafts that are within these control boundaries or control area boundaries or control zone boundaries. This is related to VHF whenever you see it in blue here. Similarly, your region 2 will also have a CTR, a CTA, and probably a TMA also that will give me control. Similarly, my region 3 will also have the same, region 4 will also have the same. That way, I'm establishing a very good and a strong VHF communication network. Okay. And most of my navigation systems that I use today are generally working on a frequency that is above VHF, but automatic direction finder is a very old system that is still in use. We have not yet, what do we say? We have not yet discounted the use of it. So what I'm trying to get here, is that firstly, understand what are the types of VHF communications. One is en route VHF communication, second is terminal VHF communication. So the terminal VHF communication I'm going to highlight in yellow is going to happen everywhere here if my aircraft is going to land to region 1. Okay. While let's say my aircraft is going from region 1 to region 4. Okay. So region 4 here will also have certain CTRs, and these are generally dotted lines. Then it will have CTA. Now, not all airports will have CTAs. Approach will not be there with all airports, but CTR will be there with all airports, CTR and tower. CTR is generally associated with tower. Okay. I'll write it again and again, tower. So let's say this particular region 4, let's say this region 4 is, let's say Nagpur. In this case, so we see from Delhi to Nagpur, there is one route. Okay, maybe this route is going to go from Delhi to Nagpur. And while flying from Delhi to Nagpur, I see that I'm going to cross. I will have two terminal ATCs to talk to. One will be Delhi, one will be Nagpur. And then I will have these ATCs in between to talk to. What do I have in this case? I will show you. This is the boundary here for Delhi ACC. And I can show that this is the boundary here for Nagpur ACC or Nagpur TMA. Nagpur ACC, Nagpur TMA will refer the same thing. They will refer the same thing. These are different ranges. I'll say again, these are different ranges. This is a top view of your aerodromes. These are the ranges within which you can communicate with the particular VHF air traffic controller. Okay. So what happens is, I'll show you in red. This becomes VHF terminal communication, and this becomes VHF terminal communication. When you're leaving a terminal, when you're reaching a terminal. Simple. And this part here in the circle becomes VHF en route communication. So from this point till this point, you are into an en route phase, we can say. And this en route communication generally happens at your cruising altitudes and with your TMAs. Nagpur TMA, Delhi TMA, or any other TMA that you'll have. So this is what VHF communication is about. Sometimes they will ask you part 2 Viva questions like, what are the different types of VHF communications? And you'll say, sir, VHF communication is used in 2 ways, for terminal communication and en route communication. Simple. So you'll say when an airplane departs from an aerodrome, it starts with terminal communication. Then during the en route phase, it will go through en route communication. And then when the plane is finally in the control area, probably control area of the destination, then it will start with its terminal communication again. Here the communication is easy because we have automatic instruments to tune into the frequencies and help us connect with the air traffic controllers. Okay, that is not difficult. What is difficult is following the direction. Again, so coming back to the direction point, all ground stations, all radio nav system based ground equipments are aligned with magnetic north. So if this is the rough sketch of my aerodromes, if this is one station, if this is second station, this is third, and this is fourth, rough sketch. And if I say that they all are fitted with the one of the best navigation system, that is VOR. Now VOR means a very good navigation system that we have these days. Although VOR is also an old technology, but it is still very effective. Now VOR is a ground station. Okay. It has its onboard equipment. That onboard equipment could be RMI, could be HSI, or there is a couple of more complicated instruments for you to see that are associated with the VOR. VOR is a ground station. RMI or HSI is your onboard indicator. Plus, you will have an onboard control panel for VOR. And how many VORs you will have? Generally, you will have VOR 1, VOR 2, and sometimes you'll also have VOR 3 if possible on board the aircraft. So this part is the ground station and this part is the aircraft equipment. Why do we have multiple VORs? At least VOR 1 and VOR 2 will be there, if not 3. Because if one fails, then we have second to fall back upon. Aviation design is very successful because of this simple funda. Have double of everything. If possible, have 3 of things, at least the important ones. Now, what happens is on the ground, I'll just shift our red dot region 1 and region 2 a little down. Now that I know VOR is the best instrument given to my ground stations, I also know that VOR is used for en route navigation, and VOR is also used for terminal navigation. When I say terminal navigation, it means helping you reach or approach the airport. When I say en route navigation, helping you fly between different airports so that you can reach from your departure to your destination. There are many more uses for VOR, but these are 2 important uses that you should put in your picture right now. The full form for VOR, for those who don't know, V stands for very high frequency, that is VHF. O stands for omnidirectional. Omnidirectional means all directional. And R stands for ranging or range. Generally, we say VOR is very high frequency, omnidirectional, ranging, and detecting. You can simply say ranging, not detecting. VOR. So, now that I ever want to show my ground stations, I will not use small points to show my ground stations. I make it more legitimate with respect to civil aviation, followed all across the globe. My VOR symbol for ground station is this. It's a hexagon. In practice charts, the shape is wrongly given In practice charts, the shape is a pentagon. So in practice charts, you will follow pentagon. In realistic charts, there'll always be a hexagon. Now, VOR has a lot of modifications. So there are types of VOR. As per that, there are different symbols of VOR also. There is one symbol like this. Then there is one symbol like this. And a couple of more symbols also. But any hexagon will mean that there is a VOR. So now if I want to show my region 1, region 2, region 3, I won't show points, but I'll show VORs like this, simple. So wherever you see a VOR on your charts, you should understand that there is an aerodrome where I can land. Wherever you have an NDB like this, anywhere in between, NDBs are not going to help you land, but certain aerodromes you can land if there is an NDB. So NDB can also be used to land the aircraft, but not as a primary resource. A primary resource is always VORs, VHF based instruments. Not just VORs, these days we have a lot of different we have a lot of choices to make our approach. But these are bare basics that every pilot needs to know. It is like that. Whatever advanced systems we have, you'll be taught in your airline training. It is like that. So in CPL, you only do the bare basic and bare minimum that we have been following since past 50 years, 40 or more than 40 at least. There's no new thing that you are learning which has been less than 40 years old. That is compulsory for you in your syllabus. It's like that. But yes, of course, you have to learn everything as much as you can. But what we are doing here is we are understanding a lot of things. Keep your eyes open, and when I give you a chance to discuss questions, feel free to discuss your questions. Moving ahead, if this is the ground station, and let's say this was my region 1, and if this is my ground station, then this ground station is aligned with magnetic north. And this is the meaning. This is the meaning that for this station, the north is this, and magnetic north is represented by this needle. This is actually a compass pointer. It shows you magnetic north. Compared to magnetic north, there is one more north known as true north. It gives you a full diamond. Now, what did we first learn? All ground aids, all ground-based equipment with respect to any radio nav system, they are all aligned with magnetic north. What did we learn ahead? We learned two magnetic directions, QDM and QDR. QDM is to the station, QDR is from the station. Why are we doing this? We are doing this because we know that communications related to direction finding come under number 3 under the category of messages. So it becomes very important for the pilot to know that these messages are important. If you're talking about a normal flight safety messages, and if you're comparing that with an aircraft that requires assistance with respect to direction finding, then who will get the priority? The person or the pilot communicating with respect to direction finding will get the priority. So what does it finally mean? It finally means that if this is region 1, and let's say if this was region 2, even this is tuned like this, magnetic north, aligned. Let's say this was my region 3. This is also aligned with magnetic north. And let's say this is my region 4. Even this is aligned with magnetic north. They all are aligned with magnetic north. So if I need my direction to fly from this place to this place, okay, how will I determine this direction? Now I know I'm flying from Delhi to Nagpur. I'm saying this is Delhi, and VOR codes are 3-letter code, students, and this is Nagpur. These are the VOR codes for these. You can add one more point to your VOR. 3-letter codes. VR codes are 3-letter codes. Very easy to look and very easy to spot on your navigation charts. So let's say that reaching here, okay, let's say reaching 200 nautical miles outbound Delhi, you are lost. Okay, reaching this position. Okay, this question is related to this position. Reaching 200 nautical miles outbound Delhi, Papa November, that is Delhi VOR, you are lost. Take action. Now, this could be a very important question in your part 1 also, or this could be a part of that question, or this could be the whole question in total. How do I know where is 200 nautical miles? How do I know where am I? So you always need to know that between two airports, there always be one black solid line on your charts that will determine your route. The code for route is RTE. Let's say this route is Alpha 373, an hypothetical route right now. So my aircraft is going to fly from Delhi to Nagpur via Alpha 373. I will also be given a altitude to maintain in the majority aspect of my flight. That altitude is known as cruising altitude. So I can write my flight plan as this: Delhi to Nagpur. I'm going to follow Alpha 373 and I'm going to fly at flight level 350. Now, students, today you need to revise and thoroughly know what flight level 350 means. When I say flight level 350, it means 350 and then add 2 more zeros, and this is the meaning. When I say flight level 270, then what is the meaning? Right, 270, then 2 zeros and that many feet. So how many feet does it become? 35,000 feet. 27,000 feet. In normal words, it is 35,000 feet and 27,000 feet. In RT, we don't say 35 or 27. We say individual numbers between 0 to 9. And 9 is that is niner. You will be practicing it. 350, flight level 350 means 35,000 feet or 35,000 feet. How do you read this? You read it as 35,000 feet. And this you read as 27,000 feet. So we are going to cruise at an altitude of 35,000 feet. It is our assigned altitude. Assigned how? As per the flight plan, okay? What other information will be given to me? Time of departure. Let's say the time of departure is present time 1115. Okay. What other information will be given to me in my flight plan? Other information given to me would be flight rules. Let's say I'm following instrument flight rules. There are 2 flight rules to be followed or variation of the 2. In total, there are 4 flight rules we can follow. But generally, if you have to talk about rules of the air, then you only talk about 2 flight rules, VFR and IFR. What other information will be required for me initially? Of course, type of aircraft. Let's say Airbus. Then my call sign, very important. I'll write my call sign here. Let's fly, I fly. Indigo, call sign is I fly and the code is 6 echo. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things. 8 things. These things are at the moment not complete. There are still more 5 things needed at least for my flight plan to be complete. One could be alternate. I would say any alternate nearest to Nagpur could be my alternate. Right now, I don't have an access to the chart, so I'll keep my alternate blank. I look at the charts, then determine my alternate. So 9 points are done. Then there is something called as a wake turbulence category. What kind of turbulence can an airplane leave behind during takeoff? Is it moderate? Is it heavy? Is it super heavy? Boeing 747 gives you heavy. Airbus A380 gives you super heavy. And Airbus 321 and Boeing 737s generally give you moderate. But in your RT exams, they are termed as heavy aircrafts, like heavy wake turbulence. This is important. Let's say heavy, H is the code. Then the most important part about your flight is what kind of flight are you taking? Or what kind of, what do we say? One second. Huh? So you'll say type of flight. Is it a scheduled flight? Is it a non-scheduled flight? It's a general flight. It's a military flight. There are 5 categories in type of flight that you have to know. Generally, the job that you're seeking is a scheduled flight job that you're seeking, S. So I'll just highlight these points again, write it in one place somewhere. Departure aerodrome, arrival aerodrome, route, cruising altitude, 4 points, call sign, 5 points, time of departure, 6 points, type of aircraft, 7 points, flight rules, 8 points, alternate, 9 points, wake turbulence, 10 points, that is 10 in RT, type of aircraft, 11 points. There are 2 more points. One is equipment. This is not from your flight simulators. In flight simulators, equipment means, and in some other countries, equipment mean there is another aircraft, type of aircraft actually. Here, equipment means what equipments are you carrying on board this particular flight? There are different codes for a set of instruments. If you're carrying all navigation, all landing, and all direction finding instruments on board, then you say you're following all standard equipments on board. So, standard. A basic requirement for you to fly every day safely would be if you have all standard equipment on board. So 12 points done of a flight plan. So easily, last 13 points of your flight plan would be something that I'll add somewhere here in misery. 13, other information. This other info will tell you more details or more essential details about your flight. Do you have a VIP? Do you have a trainee flight? Do you have, maybe you're carrying, maybe you're carrying some important material that will require, that is, required to save some people in some sort of natural calamity. Maybe you have special doctors. Maybe you have special organs. Maybe you have something of very important or very crucial in nature, like maybe you have a United Nations team coming in or going out, maybe they're trying to resolve a conflict somewhere. So all that information will be given to you here. What is your aircraft registration marking? It's very important. It could be given to you here. If there are any variations in your flight plan, if you're going to fly direct somewhere, if you're going to have certain more inputs that you can add in your other info. Together, these 13 points. Okay, I'm going to show you again these points. Departure aerodrome, arrival aerodrome, cruising altitude, route, call sign, time of departure, flight rules, aircraft type, alternate, type of flight, wake turbulence category, equipment carried on board the aircraft, and other info. These 13 points are 10% essential for you to remember for your exam RT flight plan. Once you have this information handy, you know where you have to go. You have to go from Delhi to Nagpur at a flight level of 350 via 373. Departure time is 1115. There will be more information given to you, which will be required for you to use to fly this particular sector, or fly this particular leg, or fly this particular mission. No matter what you call it, all means the same thing. That could be the total time that is required to reach the station based upon the airspeed that you have decided to fly. Then what would be the maximum cruising speed that you're going to fly with? But in your exam flight plan, we are not using it. But in our actual flight plan, we use such information. So today we are introducing the exam flight plan sweetly, indirectly, nicely, without any extra burden on your minds. But in coming sessions, you will see what a real flight plan is also all about. Okay. Now that I know my entire flight plan, and I know I'm going to fly from Delhi to Nagpur, and I'm given a situation, let's say this is question number 1 for this exam flight plan now. That reaching 200 outbound Delhi, 200 nautical miles outbound Delhi, you are lost. When you are lost, it means you don't know where you are and you need direction help to reach the destination. How will I make this call? Whom will I talk to? What kind of request will I make? What kind of codes am I going to use? All these answers to these questions that I'm asking are going to come into one transmission, one call that you'll be making to air traffic controller. How to do it is what I'm going to show you after the break. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to discuss questions based upon what I'm given you. After that, we're going to take a break. So please, students, go ahead. Think, discuss. Class has to be interactive. You can raise your hand and I can allow you to speak, or you can simply start speaking. Yes, Neha, anything on your mind?
I wanted to know about CTR and CTA again.
CTR and CTA is something that we don't really focus much upon because it's not directly taught anywhere in your RT, but it's very important. Let's say this is a VOR. Let's say this is Delhi VOR, okay? So Delhi VOR will have the first controlled airspace range. And student, this is all top view, okay? Top view. I'm looking from exactly from the top, the ground, okay? I'm looking from the top. From the side, I'll show you from both sides. From side, I would say it would look like this, okay? I'm just showing. Actually, the ground station also looks like this, okay, from the side, okay? Eyes on the screen, everyone, and please be connected and focused. Chaitanya and Prateek and Abhishek, welcome to the class. It's okay if you are late, just go with the flow. So this is side view. I'll just show you all once. This is side view for the same thing, and this is top view for the same thing, okay? Generally, we'll be using the top view only, but side view to help you understand what I'm talking about. So the first range is always CTR. It will be written somewhere. The first circle or the first range is always CTR. This CTR will have a radius somewhere here like this, written 30 nautical miles in all sides from the ground station. Okay. How would it look like from sideways? From sideways, it will look like this. This distance would be 30 nautical miles. And this distance would be 30 nautical miles, like this, from the side. Okay. When you look at the chart from top view, which is actually your chart view, Okay, this is what you will be following. Then you will be given a range, a fraction. In the fraction, the denominator is GND, it means ground. And the numerator could be any value 50. Here it means base is ground surface and max level is flight level 50, that is 5,000 feet. This is the meaning. And this means range. So as long as I'm within 30 nautical miles, so when I look at that from the side view diagram, I'll make it in green, okay? So that we can differentiate. So as long as I'm 30 nautical miles to the right or the left or completely in a radius of the ground, like this, 30 nautical miles, plus as long as I am up to flight level 50 or below, this entire area for me is under what I call as CTR. CTR full form is control zone. Who CTR? Delhi CTR or Delhi control zone. Where does this control zone start from? It starts from ground and goes up to flight level 50. What does it mean? It means any aircraft within the vicinity of 30 nautical miles and below an altitude of flight level 50, you have to talk to this particular ATC. That is the meaning of it. This particular ATC is in charge. Who is this particular ATC? CTR will always be with TWR. So your ATC here would be Delhi Tower. CTR means the control range vertically and horizontally for you to contact Delhi Tower. It is like that. Now students must be confused thinking, sir, what about when I'm parked at the parking bay, when I'm doing a pushback and a startup, I'm also on ground. Should I be talking to tower? You will be talking to tower if ground is unavailable. If you have ground available, then you'll talk to ground till the time you reach the runway. Reaching the runway, you're still on ground. That's when you start talking to your CTR ATC, that is your Delhi Tower. Similar to CTR, I have another range, the second range, that is called CTA. It will also have a radius. It will also have a starting level, which will be somewhere in the sky, and an ending level, maybe 150. And generally, CTA is given to after tower, the next ATC will be approach. Same rule, same fundamental. The ground station, this much was with CTR. Okay. Now, this much could be for my CTA. It overlaps like layers of cake. So what happens? This much will go with tower. All the traffic here, side view. You know, all airplanes here will go with tower, and all planes here, you know, anywhere flying here, they will all go with approach. So this will go with approach, this will go with approach, this will go with approach, this will also go with approach. But here within, they'll all go with tower. It's like that. So this larger area is CTA, and this is CTR. Next question, please, students. Very sorry. Carry on with the questions.
Sir, when we use QDM and QDR in calls?
We will come to that after the break.
Okay.
Come on, students. Think. More questions.
So in
Sir,
categories of message,
Uh-huh.
so in category of message, under urgency, what exactly does natural calamity mean? Is it turbulence or what does it include? Victor Tango Sierra.
Now, we will not say a natural calamity comes under urgency. Please don't say that. Natural calamity will come under security is what we are going to say. Natural calamities like tsunamis, natural calamities like earthquakes, floods. Turbulence is not a natural calamity. Okay. Turbulence, severe turbulence come under direct urgency or distress. But if you see hundreds of kilometers widespread thunderstorm clouds, then they become a natural calamity. If you see a series of locusts, there are big insects who fly in a crowd of a million of them together that can cause damage to flights and property on the airport. And of course, it destroys farms also. So that also comes under natural calamities.
What does death on board comes under? Victor Tango
Death
November Echo
on
Alpha.
board will be pan medical for you if the death is not of the flying crew. If it's a flying crew death, then it is a mayday. But if you get a death on board, students, you will not say that the person is dead or the flight crew is dead. You will just say they are incapacitated and you are unable to revive him. Why do we say so? Because we are not doctors to pronounce anyone dead, right? But yeah, if anyone other than you or your co-pilot is incapacitated or dead, it's a mayday call. If anyone apart from you is troubled or incapacitated, then it's a pan medical call. Pan medical and request for an emergency landing at the nearest aerodrome and medical assistance for the said person. Come on, students. Any more questions?
So, sir, in this case, the call sign, the code will be security, right? Thrice.
For natural calamities, yes.
Okay. Affirm. Victor Tango Sierra Hotel.
What are
Okay,
the
students.
limitations of
Yeah,
NDB
Mukul.
and ADF? So what are the limitations of NDB and ADF that VR overcomes?
Please, Mukul, park it. Okay. Every
Right.
navigation instrument has a lot of errors. When you're doing part 2, when you're covering these topics in part 2, you can cover these points. Whatever errors are there in NDB or ADF, only couple of those errors are repeated in VOR on a different magnitude. So none of the errors are repeated actually, but couple of errors are similar, but they are called different errors. So VOR has a set of different errors that you'll have to learn. ADF has a set of different errors that you have to learn. If you have to talk about what is the benefit of VOR over ADF, then we would say that VOR is more accurate, more thorough, more practical, more lighter. And because we use very high frequencies, then the equipment, the hardware becomes lighter compared to using LFMF equipments, which are heavier, but still we use both equipments, ADF also, VOR also. Okay. Students, that's it. Let's take a break. And whatever questions you have, let's discuss after the break. We'll come back at 11:32 a.m. Okay. I'm giving you 16 minutes. It's a 15-minute break, 1 minute here and there. So everyone come back and please come back on time. And we'll solve that answer. Before we solve that answer, we are also going to see how QDM and QDR actually look. What are the call signs that we have to use? Sometimes when we are making direction finding calls, it is something that none of you all have actually practiced much. Some of you all might have. And then, of course, I'm going to solve a few questions from your chat box also. Come back, everyone, and I'll see you 1132. My God. Time's up. Welcome back, everyone. Students, please let me know if you're back. I have no way of knowing if you're back. I can see only Nukul and Ayush. Poster boys. Nukul, thanks for the reminder the other day. Very thoughtful of you. Manan, Zanvi, Suchita, Sahana, Hemant, Abhishek, Usaid, Mukul, Jyotsna, Ashwani, Pratik, Pooja. I hope everyone is back.
Yes, sir. Victor Tango Hotel Eco Mike.
Mukul, the question that you had asked, make sure that question you put in today's parking lot, okay? I'll be checking it when you send me class notes. Students, if you remember, especially new students, freshers, you have to send me your notes after every lecture. And make sure you name the notes as you have been guided to name the notes. Sonia, how do you read? Sonia, you have not made a call or a check. I haven't heard from you.
Read U5, Victor Tango, Sierra Yankee Yankee.
Good, good, good. Usaid, how about you? I've not seen you since morning. You there?
Affirm, sir.
Good, good, good. Any questions so far? Sahana, not Sahana's correction. Neha, have you understood CTR, CTA?
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango November Echo Alpha.
Students, let's
you
have some interaction. Yes, Mukul, go ahead.
you are given the magnetic to and from. Can you just repeat the two also? Like true was I think QPE. I don't remember
Mukul,
right now.
can you stick with magnetic right now? Just magnetic.
Okay,
We have not given true directions.
okay, sir.
We're not given, we are not discussing it.
Right, sir.
We will do it when the right time comes. You put that in your parking lot, no problem. Good. Now there's a honey bee. I just hope it goes, just flying. There's already so much of pain in life. We don't need one more sting. It's on my coffee mug. Wow. What will it do when it gets high on coffee? I'm glad you
Wants to
all are
fly
not there
high.
in class. Yeah, it'll fly high. I think it's going to sting all of us. Okay, so when I go to my native place, Rajasthan, you see a lot of honeybees and you see those bigger honeybees also. I don't know, we call them fire ants or something. And you get used to how to handle them. When they
You just
come, you
don't
don't
move.
interfere. Yeah, you don't interfere. You respect them and you let them be. It'll be like, Abhishek is saying, sir, security ho gaya aapke saath, huh? Locust swarm, yeah, security, security, security. You never know. I'll have to cover myself. You never know when they hit. Anyway, settle down, everyone. So interaction, man, come on. Where are others? Only see 3 people. Usaid also is like, sir, Monday ko kaun padhai karwata hai, sir? How Usaid? Where is everyone? Come on, let me see your smiling faces. Chaitanya, where are you? Mukul, where are you guys? Come on. Ashwani.
Affirm, sir.
कहाँ हो सब लोग? प्रतीक. Nitika is not joining today. Okay, so I'm going to cover a couple of important questions that we have and important points. Before we move ahead, I want you all to talk about this. Point to point contact. This is a question asked by Pooja. Pooja, are you there? Victor Tango Papa Kilo mic. Eyes on the screen. So students, sometimes you'll come across situations where in your examination questions, ATC will tell you something, 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 and they'll tell you that point-to-point communication has failed or point-to-point contact failure. Okay? Point-to-point contact point-to-point communication failure. Okay? Also called as landlines. Okay? And there is one more way this situation could be simulated, and that way is also termed as interphones. Now write down, note, if any one of these terms is used and if situation is such that there is failure in the communication using point-to-point slash landlines or slash interphones. It means, it's a very simple thing, students. What does it really means? It means that internal communication channel between various ATCs, it means that internal communication channel between various ATCs has failed. In such situations, ATCs cannot talk to each other. Now here comes a very particular situation where you learn something new. What do you learn? Let's take the example of flying from Delhi to Nagpur. Okay. When I'm flying from Delhi to Nagpur, the major air traffic controller will be called as Delhi ACC, and the area will be termed as Delhi TMA. So I have another question here where Jyotsna is asking me, so what is the difference between ACC and TMA? ACC is the air traffic controller designator. ACC is a code for the air traffic controller and the call sign is control. Okay. Area control center, call sign is control with the place name that is Delhi control. So ACC is just a designator designating that there is an air traffic controller available. While TMA is similar to CTR and CTA. Just like CTR determines one horizontal and vertical range and CTA determines another horizontal and vertical range, TMA also determines a vertical and a horizontal range, which is the maximum range in VHF. The full form for TMA is, write down students, ACC is an ATC designator. TMA is a control area designator. So these are two different terms or designators. Okay, difference if you have to write down the difference. Second, ACC full form is area control center, and TMA full form is tricky because it has two meanings: terminal control area or terminal movement area. Okay. ACC is an ATC with call sign, place name, and control like this. Place name like Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai, and then control. TMA is max VHF. I say max, you put it for your understanding only. TMA is max, or you can write out TMA is the largest controlled airspace area by any particular ACC on VHF in that region. So TMA is controlled by ACC. Okay, so ACC is an ATC, TMA is an area. Just like CTR, CTR is an area, but the ATC will be tower. CTA will be an area, but the ATC would be approach. TMA is an area, but the ATC is control. These are good questions asked at the right time, so we are discussing them. Other good questions which are asked ahead of time, we'll be discussing them when the right time comes. Just that. All questions are good questions. Everyone make these points, please. This is really gonna help you really deliver good papers, good exams. Okay. So when I talk about point-to-point communication, let's say this is my TMA. Which TMA? This is my Delhi TMA. And let's say this is my another TMA. Let's say this is my Nagpur TMA. So if I'm going to fly now, if I'm going to fly from Delhi, this is the plane. Before I reach this place, this boundary, there will be a boundary known as control boundary. Whenever you're crossing between two consecutive controls, you cross a control boundary. You must have already seen it on charts, or you will be seeing it on charts wherever you stand in your training. What happens is, by the time you are here, you will be leaving your CTR initially, then you will be leaving your CTA, and then you will be going out open in the in the TMA. From one TMA, you will be going to the next TMA. Then after the next TMA, you will be going to the next CTA, and then CTR, and then landing. So what happens is, with you, the ATC is communicating through the VHF or HF. Let's talk about VHF only right now. So to you, the ATC is communicating via VHF frequencies. So ATC knows that, okay, let's say I fly. What is our call sign? Can someone confirm the call sign?
I fly 123.
Station saying I fly 123 and with your call sign.
Victor Tango Alpha Yankee Uniform. I confirm that I fly 123.
Not a bad way to say it. Very good. Good comeback. So let's say I fly 123 is departing from Mumbai Tower. The moment I'm going to cross this CTR boundary, Mumbai Tower will let Mumbai approach know that I'm sending this aircraft to you. Are you ready to collect it? Not directly in these words, but they have a procedure as to when and where they have to do it. Sometimes it's mutually understood. Sometimes they have to inform each other about the same. Majorly, such things happen when you're crossing control boundaries. So here, tower will inform approach that I'm sending I fly 123 to you. Approach will take it. So approach would already know that you're going to come. After tower has asked approach that I'll be handling the aircraft to you, will tower give you the permission or instruction that contact contact Delhi approach and so on so frequency? Then you will use the word saying changing to Delhi approach and so on so frequency. Now that you're flying with Delhi approach to this point, coming to the Delhi approach boundary, the CTA, Delhi approach would have communicated with Delhi control saying that I'm going to send that aircraft over to you. They'll be like, okay, we are ready to take them. That's when Delhi approach will tell you that I fly 123, contact Delhi control on 121.7, whatever the frequency is. And then you will be like, okay, changing over to Delhi control 121.7. I fly 123. And then you continue. So this area from here onwards, you'll be communicating to Delhi control over here. Over here, Delhi control will contact with the next control, which will be Nagpur control. In this case, this is a hypothetical situation. Ideally, between Delhi and Nagpur, there is a small blank area where you don't have any other control if you follow one particular route. If you follow other routes, then you'll get Varanasi control, okay, or Mumbai control. So here in this case, what will happen? Delhi TMA will contact Nagpur TMA, that is Nagpur control. Okay, one second. And then they will say that this aircraft is coming over to you, and they'll be like, yeah, as per the flight plan, everything is going fine, and we are going to take the aircraft. And then they will ask you to change over to Nagpur control, or you'll be taking crossing clearance. Whenever you cross control boundaries, you can take crossing clearance. So what I'm trying to say is these different ATCs, how do they communicate with each other? They communicate through landlines. These landlines are part of that aeronautical fixed telecommunication network, AFTN, a very important abbreviation. AFTN, Aeronautical Fixed Telecommunication Network. So ATCs are connected through landlines or interphones. That system is also called as point-to-point contact or point-to-point communication. I have to teach this in detail because it is important for everyone and not many people know this. So if the exam question says that you have a point-to-point contact failure or a point-to-point communication failure, then what are you supposed to do? What is the meaning? Can someone share their views and ideas with me? Usaid, you have a question, please go ahead.
सर हमें रिक्वेस्ट करनी पड़ती है चेंज करने के लिए या सर वो अपने आप ही रिकमेंड करते हैं सर टावर से ग्राउंड से टावर की तरफ जाने के लिए
We don't have to request. We don't have to request. As per your vicinity, wherever you are, either you choose your ATC and change if you are cleared by the last ATC, or your last ATC will almost all the time tell you to change to the next ATC. You don't have to request for that. Sometimes if you think you are informed that you should talk to a particular ATC and you don't know the frequency, then you can request for the frequency by your actual ATC and communicate with them. There is a slight possibility that you could request, but yeah, generally you don't have to. So who can tell me what to do? Let's say that you are at 200 nautical miles outbound Delhi, same place, okay, this X that I've made, and your point-to-point communication fails. What would you do in that case? What does it mean? Share your views, everyone. Sehab, sorry, I forgot how to pronounce your name. Ashwini, Pratik, Pooja, Abhishek, Chaitanya, Mukul, Hemant, Manan, Suchita, Sonia, Ishan, Ayush, Jyotsna, Gulshan, Zanvi, Neha, Nukul, and Usaid. And of course, Sana. What would you do? Think about it.
So as you said, point-to-point contact is communication failure between the ATCs. So I'm still able to talk to them. So probably I'll let them know that I'll directly contact them and I'll just say changing over to the next controller and say the frequency and I can start talking to them. Victor Tango Mike Echo Delta.
A very good analysis. Of course, they cannot talk to each other, but you can talk to them. So I'll make sure I keep talking to them as and where I am needed. Yeah, that is obvious and that is good. There is something more to it. So Sahana is right. We can take that as a base of our answer and we can move ahead. What else? Think about it, students. Mukul, come on.
So I would use the option of cell call and directly call the required ATC.
Mukul, in your understanding, what do you mean? How cell call will help you here? In your understanding, please share.
So in my understanding, it would be like directly calling to the ATC and telling them that
How is cell call helping you directly talk to ATC? And how are you not talking to ATC right now? What is the difference between the two situations? Think with focus, ultimate focus, Mukul. Come on.
So as in selective calling that, I think that it would be doing it over much more like selecting calling would be doing it over. Normal calling them on VHF would be a better idea.
See, students, selective calling is not good for us to initiate something. It is good when ATC wants to initiate something with us over HF frequencies. So what you could
Sir?
say here, Mukul, is that, Pooja, I'm coming to you. You could say, sir, I would try talking on HF, but you don't have RCF at all. So you're thinking in the right direction, but no, your solutions are not going to help us. Mukul, keep thinking. Pooja?
Can we transmit blind to your transmitter failure?
Why do you need to transmit blind? You are in touch with ATC. Sahana made it clear and I agree with her. So we have made it clear. We can talk to ATC. Think about it, students. Come on. Yes, Sehab, tell me.
Sir, it can be an urgency situation since it's a point-to-point communication failure. There might be some important things which the HVC wants to tell, and I couldn't hear it, so it can be a pen situation.
It could turn out into an urgency, but that is not what is happening right now. No. A good idea, but it doesn't help in our case. Mukul, keep thinking. Mukul. Yeah, Pooja.
So we have to say just negative contact with Delhi control and change over to you like that.
You have control with Delhi control, so you won't say negative contact with Delhi control.
Oh.
Abhishek, what are your views? Pratik, Abhishek, Ashwini, Sonia,
sir.
Hemant, Suchita, Manan, all the smarties in the class. Come on, Gulshan, Ishan, Zanvi. Yes, who's going? Yeah, Abhishek.
Yes, sir. So I was just assuming all the transmitters used by ATCs are offline. So we can still get the reply from ATC by something called as data link communication, where we can get the messages from information from ATC in our MCDU itself and resume normal navigation.
See, that could have come into picture if I would have lost contact with my ATC, but I have my contact with ATC, so I don't need that. Data link is always there, but not of our concern in this situation. Sorry, but good idea, but doesn't help us in our case. Keep thinking, students. Good. I like this. Yeah, Pratik.
Actually, sir, my view is like to the last ATC, we can just say we are changing from this to that frequency, and the new frequency, we will just raise that frequency and let them know we have got this clearance from the last ATC, and like fly according to the flight plan accordingly.
Very good, Pratik. Very good. That is exactly what we are going to do. Can someone else add to the Pratik's point and not to the Pratik's point, to Pratik's point and make the answer full? He's in the right direction. He is right, but we can make it more right. Yes, Neha.
What we can do is we can tell the ATC that I am changing my frequency to the next one, and I can put the next frequency and tell the ATC that I have changed my frequency to this one. So that way I am telling the first ATC that I have changed it to the second and get the affirmations for the both.
Very right. Very right. So Pratik and Neha are in the zone now. Come on, students. Yes, you're almost there. Pooja, what do you think? Now you know the correct answer. Pooja, use your knowledge. See what would you do? Yes, Ayush.
We can relay the message to both ATC.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yes. So students, what happens is if the two ATCs are unable to talk to each other, in your exams in this situation, you will have to firstly see which are the two ATCs involved. It would be you and the next control, of course. And then you will be the mediator between the two. So you will talk to this ATC, take the clearance. Whatever message they have for the next ATC, you will have to relay their message to them. Because no matter whether you are with this TMA, within this TMA, your range would still go. That is what the assumption would be. And then you would relay this message to them, and they will give you certain clearances which you would relay back. Based upon those two clearances, you will be the mediator, and they will be helping you for your crossing clearance or your en route navigation. Simple. Then you will change from this to that, and you'll inform each other. Once you are here, then you'll be talking to Nagpur control like that. So initially, between your changeover, Delhi control will have to talk to Nagpur control. There you have to be mediator to enable them to help with the changeover. Whose changeover? Your changeover. Helping you cross over from one TMA to another TMA. That is point-to-point communication. That is landlines. That is interphones. If they fail, all you have to do is you have to communicate with both, or you have to go to one, talk to them, go to them, talk to them, go to them, talk to them, see who's talking what, then help each other understand what they are talking about, and then whatever the common ground is, accept that and continue with the flight on basis of that. So generally in these situations, you'll be doing a call with Delhi control and Nagpur control, Delhi control and Nagpur control, and help just relay the messages here and there. Relaying means giving someone's message to someone else. Pooja, what's on your mind? Tell me.
Sir, like ये point to point communication failure means ATC के बीच में और pilot के बीच में भी हो सकता है ना?
When I say point to point, it's only between ATCs to ATCs. It's like back office, landlines. Do we use landlines with pilots? No.
No.
We use landlines between ATCs as a fail-safe. What if one day all transmitters have failed? What if one day the magnetic pole shifts and all the electromagnetic waves behave differently? What will we do then? At least landlines will help all the ATCs coordinate, right?
Yeah.
Simple.
That landline means data link, no? No?
Landline means proper MTNL landline.
Okay.
Hard, those PCOs and STDs we used to have when we were children.
But, sir, yes.
Wired communication.
But
Wired communication. Wired communication, yes. Yeah, Pooja.
Negative, sir.
Discuss. Don't say negative. Pooja, continue. It is something new. It is something new that we don't know about so far. Chaitanya is asking, in practical situation, how will the pilot get to know that both the ATCs are not able to contact each other? Can someone answer on this? Students who have not done that, what do we say? Students who have not spoken much. Yeah.
If we go from like we are coming from Delhi, so Delhi control will not tell us what next frequency is going to be for the Nagpur approach. So that means they are not having any communication in between. So that's when we are the mediator and we have to ask for the Nagpur approach to, tell us the frequency since they are not getting connected. Or maybe the ATC will tell themselves that they are not able to connect to Nagpur.
Yes.
TMA.
ATC will tell you. ATC will tell you and you'll be like, okay, I can try and communicate. You'll raise the station. If you get a response, you'll say, Nagpur control, I fly 123, relaying for Delhi control. Delhi control unable to contact Nagpur control. Just this much. Even if you say that much, they will tell you what to pass over to them. Simple.
Also, I heard Pooja asking about the landline. So what I'm assuming, maybe she was having a picture of having the landlines. So ATCs has the landline, like the typical landline, right? In their ATC control room. So they call each other, like how we used to call back in those days.
Yes.
So since we don't have a landline in the aircraft, that's why we can't have point-to-point contact failure with the
Exactly.
pilots. So maybe I
Exactly.
think she was asking that. I don't know.
In
I'm
the
just
aircraft, we
trying to
don't
help
have
her.
landlines, but in the aircraft intercom, we do have landline like phones for cabin crew, right? But they are not
Yes.
landlines, okay? Although the
Landline, yep.
intercom is connected with wire,
They are just
and
PA
the passenger
stations for
address
us.
is also connected through wire, PA, and the pilot to the aircraft is connected through wires, of course. But ground to aircraft, there is no wire connection.
Maybe she was trying to ask this. I
Pooja,
think.
are you clear with the doubt? Yes or no? Or will you be discussing it later? Quick. Tell me.
Affirm.
Okay. She's moving on now. Good. So, Chaitanya, how do you think pilot gets to know? ATC will tell you. Okay. ATC will tell you.
Affirm, sir.
And in the exams, it is directly given in the question. It's just like whatever is given to you in the question in the exams, it's similar to what ATC informs you. It is just like that. Okay. Any more questions? Mukul, are you there? Are you not there? Pooja put QGH in the parking lot. Mukul, total EET, good point. We'll discuss that when we are doing ICAO flight plan. Jyotsna, correct frequencies for ADF, very good. I hope the doubts are resolved. Any more thoughts to share before we go ahead with what we are doing? Hemant,
So can I
Abhishek.
please get the full form for AFTN, aeronautical?
Aeronautical Fixed Telecommunications Network,
Thank you.
AFTN. The entire network of communication between all the ground stations, aircrafts, and everyone is called AFTN. Aeronautical Fixed Telecommunications Network. Suchita, any doubts? Haven't heard from Suchita much or Manan much. Sierra Mike, read you one. Yeah, Abhishek.
So, when you say point-to-point communication failure, is it because of the ATC2 equipment like transmitter and receiver? So, if at all the transmitter is failed between all ATC units, then how will they say to the aircraft like what to do and when?
My dear children, when we talk about landline, then the transmitter receiver is very different from the transmitter receiver that we use in wireless communications. So don't use that logic here. If their landlines are not working, that is not going to impact your wireless transmitters and receivers. So ATCs will be free to talk to all aircraft stations, all aeronautical stations that are using a aeromobile radio equipment station. It's just that they cannot talk to each other. But don't you think Mumbai Control will be able to talk to Mumbai Control at least on VHF frequency? Sorry, Mumbai Control can be talking to Delhi Control over VHF. Yes, they can, but the problem is VHF will not allow them to have that lengthy conversation because of the limitation of the range in VHF. That's one reason why we need landlines. Okay. And we don't use HF because HF generally gives you a large range, but we don't use HF for landlines also is because the clarity is bad and the communication is not clear in times of emergency. We cannot rely on that communication. So the best point is to connect all the air traffic controllers through hard landlines. They don't have transmitters and receivers. They're transceivers. Landlines are transceivers. You can talk to, it's a multiplex system. So there's no transmitter receiver failure. There could be some line that is disconnected somewhere due to an earthquake, due to some man-made nuisances, or maybe some accident, maybe some cable line breaking somewhere. That could be the only issue. Other than that, there's no such issue. No transmitter receiver failures in landlines. Got it, students? Abhishek, does that help you understand what I'm talking about?
Affirm, sir.
So what you're talking about will never happen, because that is not what is the problem in point-to-point contact. Point-to-point contact failure means somewhere the connection is broken. That's it. There's no other reason why point-to-point contact will fail, students. And it will be resolved within couple of hours at max. At max. Have you ever come across your Wi-Fi or your fiber line service provider giving you less coverage, sometimes going out of coverage? Your internet provider not giving you line is only because the hard lines are disconnected. The entire World Wide Web, the entire internet is connected through landlines. Do you know that, students? The whole internet is nothing but all computers connected through landlines. That's it. What you get wireless is nothing but that landline connection converted into wireless to give you a Wi-Fi. Anyway, we'll come to the point. Any more questions? If you still are doubtful about things, give yourself some time. You will get there, but make sure you write it in your parking lot, today's parking lot. So let's go to our final agenda for the day. I'll just give you the full form over here. Actually, today's partial notes I have made into the other class notes. So anytime, any students, if you will be requiring the PDF of these class notes, okay, these are available for you on request, the entire whiteboard sheets. Yeah, so here I'll write. So that we remember. So what were we talking about? We are talking about direction finding in short. Okay. QDM, QDR. Here I want you to write couple of points. All radio nav systems are aligned with, all radio nav based ground systems or equipments are aligned with magnetic north. Here you add one more point. A very important point. All directions on navigation charts are true directions. We are not going to talk about true directions, but write this, sorry, write this point at least. Okay. Mukul, of course, we'll be discussing Q codes for true directions also. Don't worry, but not right now. Right now, our focus has to be on, what do we say? Magnetic directions only. So, Abhishek, can you help me fill in the category of messages list once again? 3 and 4 will be given by you. 5 and 6 will be given by Mukul, but out of memory. Go ahead quickly. You'll try to transmit it as a call, as a RT call. So use RT call language and then end with the call sign.
Sure, sir. Just wanted to confirm, you are Mumbai Tower in this case?
You can make me anything right now for practice calls. No problem.
Oh, fine, okay.
We're taking too long. 5-second rule, students. You have to respond within 5 seconds.
Mumbai Tower, Victor Tango, Delta Alpha Bravo on 121 decimal niner. Point 3 is communication related to direction finding. Point 4 is flight safety messages.
Communication related to direction finding as a short code DF also. And what was correction? This is point number 3, right? What is point number 4? Say again.
Point number 4 is flight safety messages, Victor Tango, Delta Alpha Bravo.
Okay. Mukul, your turn. Everyone
So
cross-check
point
if the
five-
answers are correct, okay? Sorry, Mukul, go ahead.
Point 5 was meteorological messages.
Okay.
And the point 6 was regulation, flight regulatory messages,
Regularity.
regularity messages.
And with your call sign, Mukul, see, I'm asking you all to follow RT protocols. Mukul, you have learned so much, you have to use it. It's all about practicing now, Mukul. Getting it?
Right.
This week has
Right,
to
sir.
be all about practicing. You have to practice, practice, and practice. Whatever time you get, you have to practice. So flight regularity messages. And students, I want your old, this is an old topic, right? We have done it on Friday, right? You had Saturday and Sunday. You should have revised. Why do I say that? When I say old answers, when I'm asking you something covered yesterday, day before yesterday, in the past, or maybe in the first half of the lecture, I'm expecting perfect answers. Mukul, in your example, flight regularity messages. Simple. No errors needed to be made. Have that clarity. Now, one thing some smart students go through, what happens is, I'm studying something. Let's say I'm studying winds. Okay, whatever page came up. Wind is the horizontal movement of the air. Okay, done. My smart students are like that. They will read a line, and because their mind is smart, they will understand it. And they think I'm good to go. And this is how we all of us, like I'm one of those. When I say smart students, I'm one of those. I was one of those actually. We think that that's enough for us to study because we have got good marks in the past in that strategy. Now, what happens is, okay, wind is a horizontal movement of the air. I remembered now. Okay. Now I'm going to read a lot of more things. I'm going to read what? Polar continental air, and then I'm going to read local phenomena of what? Some climatology based question. And then I'm going to study, let's say, smoke haze. And I'm going to study, let's say, lightning. Then I'm going to study clouds, stable clouds, unstable clouds. So I'll end up learning a lot of things in short. By the time I come back to winds, I'll be like, wind is a movement of air. I'm not sure horizontal or vertical now. That kind of confusion could come in mind. And if you don't revise thoroughly because of shortage of time, of course, that will always happen with smart students like me. Then what happens is your answers are incorrect. Exactly what is happening with Mukul in couple of answers, exactly what had happened with other students in the past, happens with a lot of y'all. How to fix this? This is your own mind deluding you under overconfidence or under the illusion that everything is fine. That should not happen with y'all, okay? Otherwise, by the time we realize there is an error, your exams would be very near and will not be able to rectify these errors by the time your exams come, and you might lose the chance on that attempt. So those students who are like that, and you can see that when you're giving answers, your answers are not perfect, you should know that you have to revise everything again, and don't multitask when you're doing it. Some of my smart students, they are driving and learning. That is not the way to learn. You can drive and revise if you want, or maybe just study 10% if you want to drive. What I'm trying to say is, even though you are very smart, these are new subjects, and the way I'm teaching you, you need to focus 100%, students. If you're focusing 100%, you will be able to give me 70-80% max. So if you increase your focus to 150%, then I can expect you to give me 100%. Make sure you do it, okay? It is different for all of you. So for some, it will be quick. Some, it will be easy. For some, it is very easy because you all already began learning with me in this way only, 100% focus. So for you, nothing's going to be a problem. Got it, students? Remember this. Flight regularity messages. That is good. 1 second. Okay, I'll fix the microphone. It's broken. All stations. Mumbai Control, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read? Can someone do a readability check?
Read U5, Victor Tango Alpha Yankee.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Okay. So let's go back to the flight plan. Everyone, go on unmute. There are 13 points in the flight plan. I'm going to take your call sign and I'm going to ask any one of the situation, one of the elements from the flight plan I'd given you. You'll need to quickly give me that. We're going to quickly solve this question. We're going to learn what are the important elements to be given in the call. What is direction finding all about? How to actually easily determine realistic directions even with a hypothetical chart. Okay. And then, of course, how to build a call. And we don't have much time because we have to wrap up by 1300, right? So let's not ask any questions in between. If you have, keep them written. If we have chance, we'll discuss. Otherwise, we'll discuss tomorrow morning. Like that. Okay. So everyone go on unmute. Otherwise, if you're going on unmute and mute, it will take a lot of time. I see everyone on mute right now. Don't mind the background noise. In aviation, we are used to a little bit of background noise. So it's okay. When I say everyone on unmute, I don't see everyone on unmute right now. If someone's background is too noisy, don't worry. I'm gonna make you unmute. Don't worry about it. Okay, Papa Kilo Mike and Sehab, you're not following instructions. Nukul and Suchita and Pratik, you're not following instructions. Papa Kilo Mike. Yeah, please go unmute. Okay, fine. So, Mike Romeo Tango, call sign. Victor Tango, Mike Romeo Tango, I need the call sign. Students, 5 seconds, you have to reply and you have to end with the call sign.
1, 2, 3. Indigo 1, 2, 3.
Mukul, where is the focus? Mukul, from next class, I want you to keep your video on from tomorrow. Please make the necessary arrangements. Question going to Victor Tango Delta Alpha Bravo. Aircraft call sign.
I fly one.
Tango Delta Alpha Bravo. Aircraft call sign. What's happening?
I fly what is it?
Ashwini, आपको नहीं देना आंसर, अभिषेक को देना आंसर. And student, give me your answer and end with your call sign. What is happening? Question going to Victor Tango, Zulu November, Victor. Call sign. Why are dedicated students not responding? Like the calls, the question I'm sending it out directly to you all and you're not replying. What's happening? I want the call sign from this flight plan. What are you wondering? Where did I give you that flight plan? Students, we all are on unmute. Huh? Don't whisper answers. People will get to know. See this year shaded part. Students, come on, wake up. 13 points. One of them was the call sign. Okay, Victor Tango. Where's Sonia? Victor Tango, Sierra Yankee aircraft call sign.
I fly 1, 2, 3.
I fly 1, 2, 3. Very good. Mukul, you were partially right. I could not hear you properly. Your response was very weak. You didn't end with your call sign. Plus, you said Indigo 1, 2, 3. Focus. It's I fly 1, 2, 3. We write it as 6 Echo 1, 2, 3. Okay, right, 6 Echo stands for I fly. Make these new things that we are learning permanent in our mind, students. Okay, good job. Sonia, Abhishek, Zanvi, Mukul, what's happening?
Sir, I said I fly 1, 2, 3, but I didn't end up with my call. So.
Yeah, I understood that. Fix that. Abhishek, I'm not sure even if you responded. And Zanvi, what's happening? Readability check, Zanvi, are you there? Zanvi, if you have microphone issues, let me know over chat, okay? Victor Tango, Romeo, Juliet, Papa. Departure aerodrome.
Departure aerodrome, VIDP Delhi, Victor Tango Romeo Juliet Papa.
Delhi, and a very good way to put it in the location designator. Very good. Very nice. Well done. Zanvi, you could try to rejoin once, okay? Victor Tango Hotel Alpha, correction. Victor Tango Hotel Echo Mike, destination.
Destination aerodrome, Nagpur VANP. Victor Tango Hotel Echo Mike.
Students, be quick to end with your call signs. Very good. Victor Tango Mike Alpha November, alternate.
Sir, we had not discussed Victor Tango Mike Alpha November.
You'll say alternate not mentioned. Very good. Very good. Alternate not mentioned. Very nice. Pratik, where is your call sign? Pratik, you have not even set your call sign. Victor Tango, Uniform, Sierra, Delta, route.
Alpha 373.
बाबा उसैद आपसे पूछ रहे हैं, दूसरे लोग क्यों आंसर दे रहे हैं? उसैद.
Sir, I have not written it.
Students, why are you sitting in the class? If you are not following what you are being taught, then why are you attending the lecture? Come on. What is the route? Victor Tango November Echo Hotel. Correction. Victor Tango November Echo Alpha. Route.
Alpha 373 flight route. Victor Tango November Echo Alpha.
Yes, thank you. Time of departure. Victor Tango Golf Sierra November.
Not mentioned.
It's 1:05.
Victor Tango Golf Sierra November. आप भी लगता है सो रहे हो मंडे को सुबह सुबह. Sahana, time of departure.
1115. Victor Tango Mike Echo Delta.
Thank you. 1115. Victor Tango Charlie Hotel Alpha. Flight rules.
Sir, it is a IFR flight. Victor Tango Charlie Hotel Alpha.
Very good. Victor Tango Alpha Yankee Uniform. Equipment.
Standard.
All standard equipment.
Who will end with your call sign, Ayush? Bhul gaye aap? You think you are smarter than everyone in the class? If you think that, you will forget basics. Huh? Come on.
Equipment, all standard equipment on board, Victor Tango Alpha Yankee Uniform.
Very good. That's the way to do it. How many points done? Mike Alpha November. How many done? How many left? Quick.
Type of flight.
Students, don't cross talk. Manan.
White turbulence.
How many done? How many left in numbers? Quick.
7 done. 6 left. Victor Tango Mike Alpha November.
Manan, दोबारा से गिनो सब कुछ. It's there on the screen, Manan. कहाँ देख रहे हो आप?
Yeah, it's 8 done and 5 left.
Students, this is what I'm talking about, you know. आप लोग video बंद रखते हो. You will keep your videos off. Okay. And you will rush behind completing the syllabus thinking that one night before the exam, you will clear and pass. This is not how you will clear RT. It's very difficult to clear RT that way. Why are you attending a class when you are not focusing in the lecture? What's this happening? Half of the class is lost. Especially those students whose videos are off. How do I know what you are doing on the other side? Students, it will be so difficult for me to assist you individually if you don't focus. Don't do this, okay? Don't cheat with yourselves. What is this? Is this some joke? You all know how difficult it is to get started to get to this point where you will get me in a live class. You know how rare that has become these days. And this is what you're doing. You're joining in late. You're not coming on time. Okay, that's fine. Initially, I'll give you a benefit of doubt for a week or so. But that entire week, if you don't focus, your basics are going to be crushed. Can you walk without crushed legs? Can you fly without broken wings? Can you even do a takeoff run with a puncture set of tires?
No, sir.
What's happening, huh? What is this? 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, fine. Again and again, same thing. You think sir will come, sir will speak, and sir will go. Arey, that is just initial days to get started. If the class is not interactive, I cannot move ahead. And what is this? Half of you all are not focusing, not replying, not responding. And you're talking as if you're toddlers who have problem in giving attention. Come on, use your smartness, no? It's a short-term thing, RT. Short-term thing. You study in a few days' time, you clear and get set for the rest of your life. Someone is saying time of departure diya hi nahi hai. Someone is not sure how to read the call sign. Someone is not sure if there is 7 or 8 on the screen. Someone is not even sure flight plan hota kya hai. Why so? Taking me too lightly? Taking the niceness too lightly, huh? Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel.
Yes, sir.
Type
Sir.
of flight.
Standard, sir. Scheduled, sir. Victor
What do you
Tango
do
Alpha Sierra
when you
Hotel.
make an error in RT? You say correction.
Correction.
कहाँ है ये सब? सर मेरे ये लेक्चर सारे पढ़ के हो गए हैं सर, मेरे को और पढ़ना है और काम दो सर, बहुत स्लो चल रही है पढ़ाई और काम दो. Where are you guys? Where are you standing? जितना पढ़ा है उतना तो कर लो अच्छे से. At least learn what is being taught to you live in class अच्छे से. At least do that much. We still have time, okay? You will get there, students. Just make sure you follow what I'm trying to say. Schedule flight. Who's left? Nukul, give me any other point to add which is not covered. Nukul, give me all the points which are not covered.
Wake turbulence, heavier.
Okay, Jyotsna, give me the next one. Nukul, heavier का क्या होता है? Nukul, heavier. कहाँ से
Heavy.
सीख रहा है heavier? हाँ? Heavier? Is it heavy or heavier, Nukul?
No, sir, heavy. Correction, heavy.
Jyotsna, next.
Flight level 350, Victor Tango Juliet Yankee Oscar.
Flight level 350 is a cruising altitude. Correct. Who will give me the next point? Suchita?
Sir, other info not given.
Who said? Number आएगा तुम्हारा. आके गया. Suchita, next point.
Other information not mentioned. Victor Tango, Sierra Sierra Mike.
Before other information, Suchita, one more point is missing.
Type of aircraft A321.
Very good.
Victor Tango, Sierra Sierra Mike.
I want everyone to memorize. I'm giving you 5 minutes right now to memorize the highlighted points. Just the highlighted, not the value. 13 points, the sequence doesn't matter. Sequence doesn't matter.
Departure.
Okay? And you have not been asked to go on mute, but everybody has gone on mute. Students, please, it's very important you follow all instructions properly, okay? अगर आप ये छोटा-छोटा instructions नहीं follow कर पा रहे हो ना, if you cannot follow these little instructions, you'll miss out on the bigger ones that are coming your way, okay? This H22 is going to be one of the best series of lectures that you'll ever get to attend to learn RT. Don't miss it. Zanvi, readability check quick.
Read you 5. Victor Tango Zulu November. Victor, how do you read?
I read you sleepy as well. That's a joke, okay? Read you 5. So students, who all are going to join for navigation, I don't think I can take the lecture. My throat is really gone. So I would want to give you all I want to do some discussion, so we'll definitely meet. I'll let you all know. But who all are there, just raise your hand, joining in for navigation later in the afternoon. Chaitanya, you are there definitely. Yeah, everyone just keep your hands raised. Whoever is joining in today afternoon for navigation from here, everyone. Okay, Neha, you're not available.
No. I'll be going for flight.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. I'm yet to see your roster properly. Okay, no problem. Sordip, no problem, Sordip. I'll make him watch RT. 1 second, okay? Okay, Gulshan. Gulshan, you have a test coming your way, Gulshan. Surprise देने वाला हूँ आपको. I hope कुछ भूले नहीं हो आप. Hemant will be joining in. Usaid, Sonia, Manan. Other old students are not here right now, but no problem. Suchita, Jyotsna, Chaitanya, and Nukul. Fine. Pratik, I'm expecting you to also get on to us with all lectures. Huh? Free ho to. aa jaane ka chupchap. Good. Fine. Okay, lower your hands, everyone. Thank you.
Strategy. Flight travel.
Okay. 13 points done. Flight plan. This is your exam flight plan. You cannot do RT calls without this.
Flight rules, type of flight. Schedule, no schedule, type of aircraft, flight rule.
Seems like कहीं पे कोई function चल रहा है. Ishan, your voice sounded like कहीं पे कोई match चल रहा है and commentary चल रही है. You know, where I live, there used to be a playground, a big one. They used to hold cricket matches, you know, tennis matches in Marathi, and they used to do commentary in Marathi. So it was very fun because we had Marathi as a third language because we were studying in Mumbai. So we know Marathi, but not completely, right? So there was a very funny word. The ball, they used to call it. There's a very funny word, you know. I don't know why it sounds funny to me, but it was very fun to see that is the word they're using with all the enthusiasm of the commentary. So Ishan made me reminded me as if the match is going on there somewhere when Ishan was revising. So I could recollect that, you know. I think they call it Chendu. So we find it very funny. I find it very funny. Chendu. It's such a cute word. Chendu is like a small thing, you know. Ball is big, you know. Marathi is a very sweet language, you know. Very sweet language. But it doesn't sound sweet unless you feel sweetness. My mother tongue is very funny. Done, students. Everyone, 13 points of your flight plan. Tomorrow, I'm going to ask anyone to make a flight plan in the first 15 minutes of the class. You need to give me all 13 points verbatim. Okay, these 13 points are what makes your plan. Now, let's talk about question number 1. Question says, reaching 200 nautical miles outbound Delhi VOR, you are lost. Take action. Generally, when you are lost and you are low on fuel, it's a mayday situation. Okay. Generally, you are lost, and if you have RCF, it could be considered as a mayday, not only unless only if you have less fuel, or it is considered as pan, possibly if you don't have communication and you're lost. Here, it's just that you are lost. It means you are unable to decide where you are. There are multiple ways you can request assistance in this case. Okay, I'm going to show you two things. One will be related to our direction finding, and the other will be related to something that is known as radar vectoring. In your examinations, I would suggest you go with radar vectoring first as a solution to this question. Okay. If your question is directly asking you to seek any directions like QDM or QDR, then you can go with the second solution. Okay. So first I'm going to give you the radar vectoring based solution. Okay. 200 nautical miles outbound. I'm just going to make a rough diagram once more. Ideally, you don't have to make these diagrams because you will be tracking the routes in your charts. Today, I'm not going to use charts. I'm just going to use our hypothetical data right now that we have. Okay, so my hypothetical data says that this is Delhi control zone, control area, and this is Nagpur control area, and this is the common control boundary. Okay, and I can say that my CTR was 50 nautical miles and my CTA was 100 nautical miles. And I can say that my TMA is at 200 nautical miles. Exactly. Like this. In this situation. All right. So they are saying I'm 200 nautical miles outbound Delhi. So where am I? 200 nautical miles outbound Delhi. I'm here exactly because this line is showing me 200 nautical miles. So here is my position right now. I have determined my position. Okay. Now comes the tricky part. The shortcut to understand directions is always make your north straight. Then you make a plus sign like this. Okay. You measure clockwise angular measurement clockwise. The first direction you get is when you make a 90-degree angle, that is east, 0980 east. The second that you get from magnetic north clockwise angular measurement is 180-degree angle made with respect to the north, and this becomes south. The third from the north clockwise angular measurement, you get 270, which is west. And the fourth measured clockwise from magnetic north back to the north is 360, that is north. 360 is also synonym to 000, that is north. These are your four major directions or cardinal points. Understanding this makes your job in understanding your exam flight plan easier. Now, if I have to fly to Nagpur, this is Nagpur, from Delhi, then what direction will I follow? I'll follow the direction wherever my aircraft route, air traffic route, Alpha 373 is taking me. But these routes are nothing but directions, students. The routes are determined on the basis of directions. And which directions are? Write down. Routes are majorly Great Circle Tracks. GC as in Great Circle Tracks. Directions. Why great circle and all you will learn slow and steady. You already know, maybe you already know in navigation. Okay. So these are nothing but directions. Interesting fact is that these are magnetic directions only. But the not so interesting fact is this, that these directions are not called as directions, but they're called as something related to VOR if you're talking about these routes connected between VORs. Okay. So if I have to follow alpha 373 from my Delhi VOR, then what magnetic track am I going to fly to ensure I'm on alpha 373? It's only a matter of angular measurement from my reference north of my ground station, which is my magnetic north for this VOR. I'll take a clockwise direction in green, and this angular measurement is my direction. This angular measurement, as I see, is somewhere more than 0980 and a lot less than 180. Approximately, it looks like 100 or maybe 105. As I will increase, it will increase back to 180. So it starts from 0980, ends at 180. Approximately, I could say it's 115 also. So this track here becomes 115 degrees. So when I'm taking off from Delhi, I'll be flying on a magnetic direction 115. If I take this direction 115, then this direction is going to help me reach Nagpur. The whole track looks like it is 115. If it is slightly curved, it means the direction would change a little bit. So it will go a little bit more on the right side. So if it is on the right side, then the directions increase in general, because directions are angular measurements measured clockwise from reference north. So if I'm here and if I'm outbound Delhi, means I have left Delhi and I'm bound out of Delhi. I'm still tuned to Delhi and I'm flying out of Delhi. Okay. So when I'm flying out of Delhi, I'm at 200 nautical miles away from Delhi on Alpha 473. Okay. What will be my flight level? Seems like I'm en route in between. So my flight level would be my cruising flight level 350. What is my nautical mile distance? It is here. If this distance is associated with a VOR, then this could also be termed as a DME distance. So I have my DME, which is 200 nautical miles. So I'll say DME 200. Outbound Delhi. Now, whenever I'm talking about a VOR and when I'm talking about directions, the specific term to use with respect to VOR is radial. Radial is nothing but your magnetic direction. Exactly like this. So for right now, for this aircraft and this VOR and this particular flight, my radial in yellow on this line would be radial 115. The magnetic direction going out. So my radial is 115. My flight level is 350. My route is Alpha 373. Time, present time, I will know what present time is. I will assume my present time to be what? 1155. Why? Because my departure time was 1115. So I'm assuming by now I have traveled what? 30 minutes, I guess. 40 minutes. Manan wala scene ho raha hai, plus minus. Mera bhi abhi. Manan, that's a joke, huh? Time now. Then all I need to give is my estimates ahead. And then my ETA Nagpur. These things are essential things to be spoken about in all of your calls when you're making any live call. Okay, students? DME is nothing but your nautical mile distance. Although you will get this distance automatically on your DME instruments on board the aircraft, but these DMEs are located or co-located with VOR ground stations only. So if you tune into one VOR station, you automatically get the DME reading. How do you know the radial? Radials will also be there on your instruments based upon which VOR you have tuned. If you're departing from Delhi, you will tune to Delhi. Up to a certain point, where the range is going to get over and you're going to change over to the next VOR. In this case, where am I right now? I'm going to make a changeover from Delhi VOR to Nagpur VOR in that case. And then my radial right now, outbound Delhi would change to my radial becoming inbound Nagpur. So for Nagpur, what is this track direction that will help me get into Nagpur? Same logic, same funda. When I say funda, it means fundamental actually. Magnetic north plus clockwise measured from north, angular measurement clockwise from north is always directions. 090 east, complete 180 south, complete 270 west, complete 360000 north. So if I check where is this route coming in picture now, I'll track it in yellow. It's covering 270 and it is almost going closer to the 360. Approximately, I'll say it is 345, maybe 15 degrees shy of 360. So this direction here becomes my radial 345. When I'm getting inside, after crossing this point, when my plane is flying here, my plane will be flying inbound Nagpur and the radial would change from 115 outbound Delhi. The radial would change to radial 345 inbound Nagpur. And when you're following a straight line, then the radials would be opposite to each other by 180 degrees. If it's a curved line, then probably a little bit of change. So even here, if I'm talking to Delhi, then I'll be outbound Delhi, 200 DME, radial 115. Once I'm done reporting to Delhi, I'll go to the next ATC, that is Nagpur, and I'll tell Nagpur control, I fly 123, flight level 350, Alpha 373, whatever the DME is, probably it would be 250 starting range. So you'll say 250 DME inbound Nagpur, radial 345, and then whatever estimates are and ETA. Estimates are nothing but these small triangles that you will see on your route. These triangles are known as waypoints. They have a lot of other points. They have other names also. I'll give you the names of these. I'll give you other names of these things when we do chart reading. So these are estimates. So right now, if your time is, let's say 1155, and if this waypoint is known as alpha, and let's say this waypoint is known as Bravo, then there is a way to give this call. I'll call Delhi control. I fly 123. Flight level 350.
Delhi control or Nagpur control?
Delhi only.
Okay.
I'm considering this situation. I have not yet changed over. So I'm sticking to Delhi only right now. So my first call, ideally, if I'm not considering you're lost, if I don't say you're lost, if this is the question, reaching 200 nautical miles outbound Delhi, take action, then this would be my call, everyone. Write down this call for this situation. We don't have much time and I'm not going to exceed much also the time. How much ever we can finish, we'll finish. Maybe it'll exceed 5 minutes at max and then we'll resume tomorrow. So if this is the question, write down this question. Write down, everyone. If question is at 200 nautical miles from Delhi, here from Delhi, that is outbound Delhi. Okay. Take action. A simple call. Then what would the call look like? Write down, everyone, the call and focus how I'm giving the live call under pressure. Why pressure? Because we only have 4 minutes left. So I'll be speaking a little fast, but I have to write and speak. So observe and learn. Okay. And students, if I make some mistake, let me know. Okay. Delhi control. I fly 123 200 DME, outbound Delhi, radial 115, flight level 350, Alpha 373, IFR Delhi to Nagpur, estimating Alpha 1159er, Bravo 1225, ETA Nagpur 1245, over Delhi Nagpur control boundary, request crossing clearance. Let's look at the reply. I fly 123, Delhi control, cleared to cross Delhi Nagpur control boundary, maintain flight level 350, contact Nagpur approach on 127.9er. Within 5 seconds, I have to give a reply. In the reply, first thing is read back, then acknowledgement, then intention, then end with my call sign. I need to remember that. So the whole instruction I have to repeat again. Clear to cross Delhi, Nagpur, control boundary, maintaining flight level 350, changing to Nagpur control on 127.9er. I fly 123. Students, this is the call. Go to next question will be said here. I want someone to confirm in the ATC reply. In the end, did I say contact Nagpur approach or did I say contact Nagpur control on 127.9er? Because I've written approach, but I
Nagpur
think I've
approach.
said control.
Victor Tango Sierra Echo Hotel.
Sorry, one by one, say someone.
Nagpur approach, Victor Tango Sierra Echo Hotel.
Pooja? Pooja, can you verify? Nikul, can you verify? Did I say control or approach?
Sir, approach Victor Tango November Kilo Charlie.
Others, please. Mukul, Ashwini.
Sir, approach Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel.
Sir, you said control but wrote approach, Victor Tango
That is what
Delta
I'm
Alpha.
asking. Yes, that is what I'm asking. It was control, but I have written approach. So it's a writing mistake. Just make sure it's control only, students, and make sure that you listen carefully. This is what I'm trying to show in rush. One or the other errors will always happen. In rush, some errors can always happen. So what I'm asking is, did I say control and write approach or did I say approach and write approach? I remember saying control, but I wrote approach. That's what I'm trying to verify. Correct it, everyone. We'll always have the recording. Anyone can go back to the recording on YouTube and check, of course. But it has to be Nagpur control. Always be sure what you're doing. Neha, were you able to write down the whole call properly?
Sorry, sir, my call got disconnected. My phone got switched off.
No problem. Where did you see the last thing? What did you see the last thing?
So the ATC was transmitting IFR Delhi to Nagpur, and then it got switched off.
Yeah. So see, this is the call. Students, I'm reading the whole call again. Delhi control, I fly 123, 200 DME outbound Delhi. Look at the question, okay? This is the question. That's it. This is actual examination question, students. This is an actual examination solution. Okay? This is what you're required to do. If you do this, you will clear your exams. Delhi control, I fly 123, 200 DME outbound Delhi. Only this is given in the question. Rest everything I've figured out as per my flight plan and my chart. Radial 115, flight level 350, Alpha 373, IFR Delhi to Nagpur. Estimating Alpha 1159er, Bravo 1225, ETA Nagpur 1245, over Delhi Nagpur control boundary. Request crossing clearance. Whenever you are about to cross a VHF control boundary, you have to request for what is called as a crossing clearance. Make a note of it, everyone. Whenever you are about to cross a control boundary, you are required to make a request crossing clearance call. Make a request to cross. It's just a mandatory call that you have to take. What was the ATC reply? I fly 123, Delhi control. Clear to cross Delhi Nagpur control boundary. Maintain flight level 350. Contact Nagpur control on 127.9. Contact shortcode is CTC. What do? I have to give a good reply. In the reply, I have to give acknowledgement. And in that, I also have to give my intent and then end with my call sign. So what is a readback? Readback is the repetition of any instruction or information given to you verbatim or as received. The full form for readback is transmit as received, in simple words. So that is what you need to remember. And you have to do all that within 5 to 10 seconds. In our class, you do less than 5 seconds. In exams, you get up to 10 seconds. Clear to cross. So my readback is exactly clear to cross Delhi Nagpur control boundary. Then they have asked us to maintain flight level 350. You have said maintaining 350. Then you will say contact Nagpur control on 127.9er. You are saying changing to Nagpur control. Either you say contact if you don't want to change over to now, but you want to change over after you have done crossing. If you think you are crossing right now, then you can just say changing to Nagpur approach or control, in this case on 127.9er. And then ending with your call sign is very important. If you can develop these soft skills, I don't know what else to call them right now, then only you will clear. So having soft skills will help you clear your RT calls, part 1. When I say soft skills, this is what you have to learn. The fluency. And then they'll ask you to go to the next question. Neha, did you get the whole situation?
If Victor Tango November Echo Alpha.
Students, any questions? What are your takeaways from today's session? 13 points of the flight plan. 2 types of magnetic directions. Okay. Radials, VORs, routes, DMEs, estimates, TMA, ACC, CTR, CTA. Those all are your takeaways. Routes are great circle tracks. Directions on charts are true directions. All ground stations of nav aids are aligned with the magnetic north. Priority of messages and the ability to take messages, and how do we take message? How does the question look like? What are the 13 points of the examination flight plan? Very important points. These are all different jigsaw pieces of jigsaw puzzles, which are in themselves a whole picture. Okay. Slowly and steadily with every lecture, every session that you're going to attend, that you're going to study, all these individual pictures are going to combine to make a bigger picture. If you miss out on some elements of the individual picture, These elements are going to recur in the other elements of the other pictures of the jigsaw that we are going to make. Do not play with your mind, students. If you have given yourself a week off, 10 days off to study, studying once is not going to help you clear RT. Studying thoroughly, whether it takes 1 time or 10 times, that is up to you now, the way you are. Take that much of time. Revise everything. Go back to all the previous sessions that you have done. Find out the loopholes. Make a list of your doubts so that tomorrow, first thing in the morning, we could sit and discuss doubts for the first half an hour. Join the session early. Say, sir, can you meet me 15 minutes early when I'm in the waiting room? We'd clear more doubts. I'd be like, why not? Follow instructions, listen to me and do your things, and you'll easily crack your papers. Okay? I'm not going to stretch any further. So what to do when you are lost? We are going to continue the situation tomorrow. I'll show you what are the different types of direction finding calls, radar vectoring, and there is something called as QDM also. We can say that thrice to request for a QDM. And after that, I think we'll practice a few calls. We'll look at a couple of charts and then we'll have call practice in the classroom itself. Tomorrow is going to be a lot of struggle for you all. So if you don't focus, your struggle would increase. Got it, students? Please focus. Please justify your attendance in the class for a live. And all those students who have given me incorrect answers today, I don't want to take names, but tomorrow I want you to have your videos off. So make necessary videos on. Tomorrow I want your videos on. So make necessary arrangements. Okay, students? That's it for now. Any more questions? Put in the parking lot. Beginners, send me your notes, name them properly, your name, batch name, lecture number in the PDF and send it along with your updated parking lots. I'll see you when I see you next. And navigation students, just request, okay, 15 minutes before, request for navigation link. If we are not having a lecture, you'll be informed then. If you're having a lecture, then you'll be given a link and we'll study some. Let's see how the throat behaves. I'll just go and get some medications, okay? I'll see you tomorrow on time. Please do not be late, everyone. Tomorrow morning, 9:45, you should be ready for the class. Okay, everyone?
Yes,
I'll
sir.
see you. Neha, good job. I want everyone to be as interactive as Neha is in the class. So that's our example. Please be so, everyone. And others also, thank you for your patience and silence. But I need more focus from you all. Ayush, Nukul, always a pleasure to see you all. Usaid, Ishan, we need more poster boys in the class. Chaitanya. So try to keep your videos on tomorrow, everyone. Taking off,
Sir,
okay? Yeah, Nukul.
So I think you are not to mention present time in call.
It's okay. It's okay. Estimates ETA diya na, chalega.
Okay, sir.
Chalo, students. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Take care, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.